Okay, this is part two. We had some computer issues and not sure what caused it, but I lost internet over here for a few minutes. So this will be part two of the seven, excuse me, of the 7/21/2015 session. All right.
Yep.
And so I was saying, I was asking, do we want to place a pending buy above this dollar chef since we didn't break it already by this daily candle, and we're looking for a pullback of about 120 pips or so down into this area. So do we
Probably
want to
wait
place
then.
the, what's that?
So I'd probably wait myself, but
Well, I'm trying to make a group decision because I make, a great many of the decisions, and I'm trying to get a couple of guys to, chime in and
on the other hand, I don't, are those lines valid that are on the chart, Lou, or not?
what? Oh, these orange lines?
Yeah.
They're from something else altogether. I have
Oh,
no
I was
idea
going to
what
say
they're
because
from.
otherwise, if that candle actually bounces off that line, then obviously you probably got a good chance on that trade. But I
Right.
didn't know
No,
the
but
lines were valid.
these are trend lines from some other chart somewhere,
Oh, okay, okay.
or some other
Some other.
dollar-based chart.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
Okay, so then Dollar Chef will wait. All right, so let me just put that in on the page here.
Might
Um,
get a better entry.
okay, so I just noted that on our watch list. That was Dollar Chef, and we're working our way down the line here. Euro pound. Let's take a look at that, and this would be our sell stop right here on Euro pound. You see that current candle?
Yep.
If we were here last night, this is where we would put our sell stop, but this is pulled back pretty decently. And
Mm,
I'm thinking this is going to pull back roughly to this area.
yep.
Okay, we got one, two, and then you go forward, you got the wicks to
Yeah.
add to that. So we can put this on our watch list also for tomorrow. All right, euro pound. Okay, euro pound is on our wait list. Let's take a look at pound yen. Again, pound yen, we could put a buy stop right up there. Okay, and I'm kind of liking that actually. And let me see, that's 193, 920. I'm going to call it because it's right near a double zero. 193, 9. Let me just go down to a lower time frame to get the number. No, I got to go to an
920.
H4.
920. You said, Lou.
193, 920.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah, that would be about right. Just a couple of ticks above. 193.920. I just can't get it to do the 920 thing. 193.920. So that'll be a buy stop there. I like that. Well, 193.920. Pending
Even
order.
even though it's close to the double zero, you still take it, huh?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
if
I just wonder whether you were influenced by that or not. That was all. So,
no, not too much because it's been through
okay.
there before,
Yeah.
and my target out there is
Yeah.
178 pips out there.
Yeah, I was going
And
to say it's
if
not
it
it's not a strange it's not accustomed to being there before, isn't it? You can see that by
correct,
looking left. So
correct.
yeah.
And the other thing is, if it doesn't trigger, well, then there's nothing's lost.
Then yeah, nothing's lost. Yeah.
Yeah. So 193.920. New order pending buy stop.
Record button, Luke.
It's on
Oh, okay. Sorry.
193. .920.
Yeah, that's
Something
about
happened.
right there.
Yeah.
193.
193.920. Okay, place. All right, so that order's in. Now, keep in mind that, as I'm saying, this could be our potential profit target. If we have 3 or 4 of these kick in, and we come back like over the weekend or yesterday, I posted a chart and I showed that with the combination of the 3 trades that were in, we were up 100 pips. You follow me?
Yeah.
I could have shut everything down right there and been perfectly happy, but I wanted to be able to sit with the group and talk through everything.
Yeah. So
But
basically just like a basket trade then, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, because remember, the goal is 100 pips a week. I didn't say 100 pips on any one pair.
Mm.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Okay. If I'm in 4 or 5 trades and I come back in the collective group, including the ones that might be negative, if I'm up 100 pips, bam, bam, and I have a script that closes every trade. If I have 10 trades open, it'll close every trade one tick at a time.
Yeah.
So let's come back to Euro Yen. And again, the frustrating part is not being able to catch these live with everybody here. This is a good buy, a good sell stop here on Euro Yen. Okay, do we have a Euro Yen trade in? No. Now let me check this. We have 2 euros have buy stops, but those are a few days old. And this is a sell stop on, now this is going opposite pound yen. But that's those are the parameters we're looking for. So I'm going to place a pending 132.270. No, 134.270 as a sell. 134.270. Pending sell stop 134.270 at 134.270. Okay, so that one's in. And we got enough of these in now. Let me look at one more. Let's look at Chef Yen. Then I want to touch base on that scalping thing I mentioned. This is another one where we could put a pending right there. You know what? And I'll go with that. It may take 2 or 3 days for it to unfold. 128.620. I rounded up so I can remember it. Sell stop. Pending order. Sell stop. And what did I say?
128.620.
Okay, 128.620. 128.620. And that one's in. Okay, good. So we'll cover that. Now, one thing I do want to mention, one of these is pretty close to kicking in, it looks like. No. It's funny, Tony sent something out in the chat. Why is that flashing? Okay, I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. Tony sent out an article. I think you guys read it all. Timing is everything. They were talking about how the first move of the month is the wrong move.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes into, ties into something that I've often said is that the first thing the new candle does is make the opposite wick.
Yeah.
And on the daily and weekly time frames, you can catch a lot of decent scalps going the wrong way at the open of a candle. Now, I want to use something like pound New Zealand for this, just for the example. And the reason being, you'll get an idea of what I mean. On the assumption that when you get a new candle, let's say we're in this uptrend right now. These are not great candles, so I'm going to use them. And let me blow this up. Okay. So on the assumption that we're in an uptrend, when this candle forms, the first thing it's going to do is make the bottom wick. So in this case, this bottom wick alone is 50 pips. It doesn't look like much because we're used to looking at 5 and 15-minute charts, but you can certainly grab 30, 40, 50 pips out of these opposite wicks. This wick was about, I'll call it 70 pips. Okay, it's something that I want you to be aware of, particularly when you get a run. I'm looking for a something like this with nice wicks on both sides. That opposite candle is going to come back and test it. When you get a candle that's, gee, we need to do that session on individual candles. So I have to make a note of that. When you have a candle and the body and the wicks are all roughly the same, you usually get really hard pullbacks on that next candle in it, because this is a lot of indecision here. That's not the standard indecision we're used to thinking of. Where the candle
Say that again, Luke, please.
Yeah, the candle body is pretty close to the same size as the candle wicks. When you see something like that, the next candle usually gives a hard pullback into that candle.
Ah, okay.
All right, because it's a different type of indecision. They went 50 pips up, went 50 pips from high to close, went 50 pips from close to low. So there's a lot of movement in there, and almost all of it is indecision. Here's one, not quite, but you see the wicks are about the equal size, and you see the body, and look, that pullback was about 50% into that candle, that wick.
Yeah.
You get me?
Mm.
So that's kind of the thing that you'd want to look at. We just went right past one. Well, here was another one here. Again, the wicks are about the same size. They're not quite the size of the body, but you see there's a uniformity to it. And look at how far back this pulled into that. There was this one we looked at. Here's another one here that we looked at. This wick pulled back at the open of this candle. Again, this pulled back pretty deep, 70 pips. Let's call it 60 pips. All right, but well, I'll have to put that lesson together for that. But how you would trade that, and it's gone now. We can't really jump on it. Let me just see if there's something here that we can jump on. Again, look at this candle wick. That's 90 pips in just the wick alone. Okay. Now I'd be looking for more of the bottom wick on this, but you get the idea. Let me look at pound CAD. I want to find one that we can mark up and trade the right way. This would have been a decent one. I don't know. I want to do a doji. I'm trying to find one that we can. Once you get the idea. But again, this is one of those 5 o'clock things where you got to catch it at 5 o'clock. So if I'll use this candle for instance. Yeah, I use this one. It wasn't much of a move, but it's easy to mark. So that's our candle. That's our open. So on a lower time frame, from here down, I want to grab 10, 20 pips underneath this quadrant. I want to be in this quadrant. Okay, so let's go down to like a 15-minute chart. See if we can find that spot. That was a few days back. And it's another nice way to grab some pips to use for your other trades. That quadrant is nowhere in here to be seen. There it is. All right, so below here is where I want, below here is where I want to start looking for short trades to grab small bites. You see that was 50 pips. That's our quadrant. Come on. I can't get the perspective because you can't see it. All right, maybe that wasn't the greatest candle. We'll try to look for one tomorrow because I actually it's a good way to pick up a few pips that you could turn around and use for your stop loss for your main trades. That's the heart of what I'm getting at and why you would want to trade that way. Because you can use that money to place the trades in the direction that you actually want to go in. I just don't see a decent setup. This is one of those deals where you got to catch it at the end of the day. Let's move this over.
And an entry right at that point in time, you got to remember the spreads are going wonky at that time too.
Oh, with the spreads on this are like 7, 8 pips.
Well, I mean, at that time of the day, I mean, particularly on like when you're in New Zealand, the spread could go to like 30, just
Oh
because
yeah,
that's when the futures are shut down.
yeah, and I wouldn't doubt that at all. I was going to. Where's my quadrant? Okay, so right in here, we want to look for long entries in this quadrant. Okay, because the higher time frame is short, so we're looking for reasons to go long in here. Whatever reason you have, it could be any method that you have. If we did a simple 1889 trade here, and this had a potential for 90 pips. No, that's nine. No, that's 90 pips. I'm a 30-minute chart. Okay, but you get the idea. I want to be long right in here, and then once we break down here, that's when we're expecting to go back in the direction of the longer term trend.
You had an earlier trade than that as well, the big bullish engulfing candle.
Right here. This
yeah,
the
that
one?
one. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was kind of perfect, and I try to stay away. I think that was an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was an 8 candle move. Let's put our RSI 2 up. All right. RSI 2. And there we go. 8 candles in a row. RSI 2 is right dead bottom. And I don't have my 80 and 20 and my 90 and 10, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
Okay. That's nice. 8 candles in a row. That was a spot on. You can probably catch this entry right in here. But again, you become accustomed to seeing those things without seeing them.
Yeah.
And like I said, you saw the bullish engulfing. I saw that because I'm just used to. It's a quick thing to just keep in mind as you're looking at charts. But we'll try to catch a couple of these dailies, but there's not much to look at here at the moment.
That's one of the problems I got now, Lou. When I first used to look at charts, I used to see 1 or 2 things, and now I see about 10 things.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's actually good. But then
No,
what you do is,
sometimes it kind of clouds your judgment because you've got too many things to think about,
well, what happens with that? And that's a good point where it could cloud your judgment. Now you can see all these things occurring on the chart. What would happen is first you look at the trend and then you decide, okay, this is a trending market. Which of these patterns produces best in a trending market? Or it's a range market. Which one of these patterns works best in a ranging market?
Yeah.
And that's how you can isolate it.
Yeah.
Or you look for your double zeros.
Yeah.
Or you look for location.
Yeah.
And that's how you kind of weed them out. Because like if I were to look here, I'll show you what I mean. I've got the price trap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I've got the wedge.
Yeah, flat top wedge. Yeah.
Right. I've got a possible 1, 2, 3 here. See that?
Yeah.
All right. So I got like a bunch of stuff going on. So which one do I want to pay attention to?
Yeah.
Okay. Now in this case, I pay more attention to the wedge of the 1, 2, 3 because we've gone up, 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 and we've made all these tops right here.
Yeah.
We've had a hard time getting higher than this, and now we've cracked the trend line. So now I'd be looking for a short trade here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You get me? So you weed it out by what's going on the chart.
Yeah. Put
your higher time frame.
Number 2.
What was that?
I said probably put a pending order at number 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's how you would weed it out, because sometimes, especially with wedges, in many of your wedges, you'll have a price trap inside the wedge.
Absolutely,
remember, prices can't get any larger. You'll get that one large candle at the back of the wedge, and you'll never get another candle in the wedge as large as the one in the back.
Yeah.
So you'll end up with 2 things sometimes in a wedge. But that's something I want to keep in mind. Now, I've never gone out to the monthly on that. because it just hasn't ever crossed my mind. I've done weekly and daily because I'm at the charts on Fridays, and I always like to look at where's my weekly trade, and
Yeah.
then on the dailies I'm there every day, but I'm usually not there at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. It's interesting how different people view it. I was listening to something of Al Brooks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for him, with his, he trades a 5-minute chart with a 20 EMA, and that's it. For him, there are only two candles. It's either a trending candle or a doji. No, there's nothing else for him.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's either trending up, trending down, or it's a doji. End of story.
Yeah, and that works for him. He's broken it down
Yeah,
to the
absolutely.
simplest, and that's all
Yeah.
he looks for.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I completely agree. As I mentioned, there's a guy that trades a 5 crossing the 50 who's
Yeah.
made several $100,000 with it. And that's all he does is the 5
Wow.
crossing the 50, nothing else. Nothing. And I see where you must have got hammered here because it got sideways and da da da, but he must have another way of filtering. But he
Yeah.
doesn't, that's all that's on his charts.
Yeah.
So you pick what works for you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've been kind of fortunate in that I found ways that I can make a lot of different things work as
Yeah.
long as I respect the particular pattern or chart or
Yeah.
location.
Yeah.
If I try to get smart and combine too much shit, that's when I get in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. Um. All right, so we got all these in. This Aussie dollar is just going to sit here until it gives us some money. The CAD yen, we saw that. I just want to go down to the lower time frames. I want to go back to doing some scalping tomorrow. We'll still look at all these other, pairs and stuff, but I do want to get back to some 1889. Some 1889 trades. This is pound Aussie. I wanted to jump on this today.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and I wanted to, maybe do a couple of other pairs besides pound dollar. And this was just good for days.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it was a nice run too. Even the not great one was a 60 pip run. And I also wanted to when we do our 1889s, I want to do a couple of trades where we use the 18 as our guide for exit.
Yeah.
Because we've been using our 1% a day, and we can still keep that as a goal.
Yeah.
But I want to grab a little bit more by using our 18 as an exit.
Yeah.
You got me? So even here today, if we'll look at the last trade of the day here, was right there. We would still be in this trade. We made our daily 1% or whatever.
Yeah.
But until we close across that,
Yeah.
there'd be no reason to exit this.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I want to get into that just so you can see how the 18 looks. And we'll start on that tomorrow and maybe add another scalping method if time permits.
A new one or something we've done before, Lou?
A new one.
Oh right. Okay.
Okay. But I want to make sure we cover the other things, and we run down our daily charts. A lot of volatility right now. See these pairs, this thing flashing. That's what that is. It's volatility. All right, nothing else open. All right, so I'm going to call this a day, and we will pick this up again tomorrow. I've got some things I got to sort out with Andre and all that, and that will all work out well. That firm, that trading academy on Wall Street, we came to an agreement the other day, and so I'm happy about that. And I can make my own shots and all that. So I only want to go into the city one day a week if possible. I don't. That's just a hassle trying to park my car at $60 a pop.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Only $60. You should try parking it in London.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And they call it an SUV, and it's not an SUV. But and what gets me is that it's the outdoor parking lots. I don't get it. They say, "Oh, you got an oversized car." So I'm saying, "Oh, wait a minute. Wait, how high is the fucking ceiling out here? What, 6, 7 trillion miles high? How
Yeah,
can this?
Lou,
What's the deal?
Lou,
And
haven't you
nobody
got
will
something in New York called Just Park?
just park.
Yeah, because we've got it in London, and I think it's in the States as well. You want to check that out?
I will check that out.
Yeah.
That would just drive me insane. And they could never. And then there's always a guy with a rag in his pocket that's going to park your car and says, "Oh, it's legal," like he's a lawyer now. You know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
it's legal. How can it be legal? And they could never explain to me what is it about the car that you have to charge an extra $20. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to get them to cover my parking in case I have to drive in anyway. So that's one of the perks I'm going to ask for. They pay for my parking, which they do for other people. So we'll see. All right, gents. Oh, go ahead, Daryl.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the Lincoln's coming out with a new uh, like SUV, except they're going to call it a sport luxury utility uh, uh, truck. So, or SLUT for short. So, okay, never mind.
um, yeah, well, one of the toys that I have in mind that I'd like to get is a slingshot. So that's been on.
Gosh.
Have you seen it? The motorcycle?
Yeah, those
Oh
things are sweet.
no.
Yeah. And it's right in my ballpark. 25 grand. I think 28 fully loaded. So that's one. It's a toy I promise to get myself when I'm at the toy buying section of my life.
Okay.
But it's pretty close.
Then you'll have to move to Southern California so you can drive it all year round.
Yeah, I hear you. Because it doesn't have a roof or anything on it. So
The only thing is, if you do that, bring your own water.
yeah, I know. I've heard they've had the wars out there.
Yeah, yeah, and that's spreading. Actually, I'm up in Iowa, right next to Nebraska, and it's the Ogallala. What do they call the big underground reservoirs? Is that can't think of the name of it.
Aquifers.
Yeah, aquifer. So it's drying, starting to dry up bad in Oklahoma, and it's starting now to get worse because it's huge. It's starting to get worse in Kansas City. It's not that bad up here, but the thing is for 50 years now they've been using so many chemicals and pesticides that the water is getting more and more polluted as the levels of water go down, because then the crap that they're putting into the soil is concentrating. So, and then there's fracking. So anyways, I could go off on hours for this stuff, but water is going to become more like gasoline and then gold.
Yeah, it's going to be the new gold. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So
Stations charge for air.
yeah, that's another 50 years down the road. But yeah, that'll happen too.
Well, in New York, we have air rights on property, which is kind of interesting.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, it's just so there's a comedy club up in the 60s, and it's one of these. It's got a big basement where the club is actually down in the basement, and then it's a like a restaurant on the first floor, and then there's one set of apartments or offices above it. So it's like a one-story building. But they wanted to build this big apartment building next to it, but they needed that footprint of that little building in order to make it work right. So the guy didn't want to sell the building, yada yada yada, turn into a whole thing, but he sold his air rights,
Jeez.
which allowed them to build, like the building goes up, makes a left, and then continues up for like 60 stories. So he sold the air rights above his building so they could build a high rise above it.
And
Ready for that?
that goes. How high does that go? I mean,
Forever.
Forever. Okay.
Yeah. So you
Yeah, I've
own the
actually heard
sky
that.
forever above your property. So it's
What
any way
about
they can
mineral?
tie a dollar to it, man, they will.
What about mineral rights?
I don't know about mineral rights up in the air, but you do have mineral rights on the ground below you.
Oh, you do?
Yes, you do.
Well, usually you have to sign them over. I think that back in my house, we don't have them.
Oh, really? Okay. And where
Yeah.
do you live?
Denver.
Oh, okay. See, it may be a state thing.
Yeah,
Could be a state
we
by
don't get
state
the
thing.
mineral rights. I think the state owns all the mineral rights.
Okay.
And I
Ah.
think that's generally what happens. Once they start discovering oil, they figure, well, you know what, we can't give away those mineral rights.
We can't even collect rainwater and use it.
Really?
What?
Nope, it's illegal to collect rainwater here.
Why?
But it's this the city, of course, sells you the rainwater when it goes into their filter, so it's against the law to collect rainwater.
Yeah, and Colorado's got one of the worst water things coming up too.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
Boy, live and learn. All right, guys. I will see you all tomorrow.
All
Yeah,
right,
Lou,
thanks.
Have a good day.
Take care.
Lou, quick one. You haven't got a stop loss on your Aussie dollar trade.
No, remember the Aussie dollar, the stop loss is that hedge 100 pips away.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, because Aussie dollar's just about going to hit 74 now, I think.
Well, 74 is where our entrance price is. Oh, wait, let me just show you what's going on with that, just so you, because I understand. Oh, come on. That's the other thing. This thing doesn't do the window tiling right either. Let's go back to Aussie dollar. Yeah, you see, this is my entry short. So right now it's like, what, 12 pips? It's long 12 pips, and you see here the buy stop?
Yeah.
Okay, if it hits that buy stop, I'll be hedged with a 100 pip difference between the two. And then what we could do is talk about a hedging strategy. How do you hedge your way out of a mess?
So that broker will allow you to hedge, will he?
Yes,
Because I was to say, I thought over in the States you had problems with hedging. We don't have any problem with it here, but
right. Well, I didn't say that this was a U.S. broker.
Oh, right, okay. Yep.
Okay.
Well, plus it's not a real hedge. I mean, if you go up there, you're going to get stopped out on one and open another.
Well, no. The buy stop will still be in. Remember, the buy stop is not a stop loss.
Oh, it's not.
Right.
Okay.
The buy stop is not a stop loss. So both orders will be in, but they'll be about 100 pips apart.
Okay.
And then as I see an opening to take another shot, let's say if I see an opening to go long, I take the bottom hedge off, I grab 30, 40 pips on the long, put the hedge back on. That it's a little more to it, but that's essentially what you do, how you get yourself out of a mess with a hedge.
Right.
So when I haven't been
you.
able to do it in so long, I kind of missed it,
Yeah.
There's a broker called Trader's Way out of Dominican Republic that still takes U.S. customers, and you can do everything from there.
I have a broker here in the States
Ah.
that you could do that too. And they have an arrangement through HSBC that allows them to do that because the key thing is that all your money stays in a bank in the U.S. And they have
What
a
is the
matching
name of
fund
that
in
broker?
Hong Kong. It was Prime Trade, but I'll be talking with him tomorrow and getting all the details and
Okay.
popping in the room for everybody.
All right, guys.
The
Thank you.
spreads
Have a
aren't,
great day.
yeah, their spreads aren't great, but as you
Oh.
can see from what we've been doing, I don't let spreads scare me. Because if you
Oh.
pick the right entry, the 2 or 3 pip spread is not going to be that big a deal. Even on
Certainly
the
not when
5
you're
minute.
dealing with a daily candle.
Excuse me?
Certainly not when you're dealing with a daily candle.
Right, exactly. But even on the 5 minutes, I mean, I was trading 2.5 to 3 pip spreads, and I just didn't let it affect
not
what I
bad.
was doing.
If it was 6 or 7 pip spreads, it wouldn't sound good.
No, 6 or 7 pips wouldn't bother me because I'm going to segue here. Let me go back to this trade here, and let's go to like pound Aussie where I was looking this morning. Okay, you see here that's a 5 pip spread basically.
Yeah.
Okay, but look at what you get. You get like these 70 pip runs, 50 pip runs, like nothing on this pair. Let me go to something that's even not that good looking. Okay, well, yeah, let's say, okay, we close above the 18. Where's the next stop? Is the 89, right? And here's our pullback. And then from this point here, I won't even pick the good one. That was 13 pips. You see that? So
Yeah.
even if I take out 5, I've still got my 5, for my daily target. So as long as the volume is there, and you look at the average daily range on this is usually over 200 pips a day. If the volume is there, then I can go up a couple of extra pips in spread. Wow, that spread went to zero there for a second.
Your Aussie hedge is going to get hit in a minute.
Oh,
Well, look at that.
No. That's only 23 pips.
Oh, sorry, it's 100 pips away, is it? I beg your pardon. I thought it was 10. I do beg your
Oh,
pardon.
no. It's 100 pips away.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Because we were looking to take that 100 pip drop from 100 to the other.
Yeah.
Something happened out here in the world. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. It
It's
must be
definitely
news.
getting stronger.
Yeah, there's news out. Okay, now this CAD yen may hit my stop loss. Let me just take a look at CAD yen. I think that was a daily entry. There it is up there. Oh, let me, it's pulling back. Oh, New Zealand dollar weekly is something else. Let's go here. Let's do CAD yen here. Yeah, this was the CAD yen sell right here. I think this was a daily. Yeah, that was this sell right here. This one. All right, and where that stop loss is not a place where this wouldn't be afraid to run up to. But this is news, so we'll see what happens. But this is our CAD yen sell. Later on, after the room was closed, I came back and put in stops on everything because they were all, crying about the news in Iran and blah, blah, blah. And just in case, I wanted to throw some stops up. Let's take a look at this on a 15. Yeah, it's got a way to go. It's still got to crack these highs right in here. It's got to break through this cluster. So we'll see. All right. I will say so long officially again, and we'll pick this up again tomorrow. Take it easy, everybody.
All right, and I posted today's daily
You
trade.
too. Have a good day.
Oh, okay, good. Daryl, thanks for that.
Bye.